Hello, viewers. Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today, this evening, wherever you are in the world? Hello, a big hello. I wanted to do a full moon in Virgo reading. As we know, this is a super full moon, so it's going to be extra bright, and it's falling in the sign of Virgo. From what I can understand, astrologers tell us that this will be a time where people will be wanting the facts. They will be looking for critical thinking. They will be looking for order rather than chaos. And some sort of illumination is possible, could be likely to come forward. Of course, Virgo is all about the detail. Virgo is the critical thinker. Virgo takes responsibility. Virgo gives us systems. And so my focus has to go at the collective level towards what is currently one of the world's biggest crises that we find ourselves in, and that is 19. That is my code word for what is sweeping the world at the moment, 19. What we are seeing in Australia, and I guess it's the same everywhere else, is we're seeing this overreaction, this panic buying, stockpiling things, which is leaving shelves bare. And those that need things, they're unable to get them. Of all things, there are shortages of toilet paper. And of course things like hand sanitizers, bacterial type of wipes, things that you would think people are starting to stockpile medicines as well. Now, the World Health Organization says by all means, if you have to quarantine yourself for 2 weeks, make sure you've got enough supply. But going overboard is actually perhaps giving us more of a problem, or not more of a problem, but is adding to the problems we're facing with this when people are absolutely panicking, fighting one another, and not being practical, logical, sensible. And of course, we're seeing some things come out around humanity, which is really causing us to think twice. And I think this supermoon will put a focus on a lot of these things. It will also put a focus on governments that are not doing the right thing, that are holding back information, that are trying to blur the waters so that we can't see clearly. The supermoon, falls on the same day, on the 9th of March, that Mercury, which has been retrograde, starts to go direct, although we will be in the shadow of that Mercury retrograde until the end of March, when illumination is likely to come forward fairly strongly. But with this supermoon, we will be looking the difference between being lulled into a state of accepting what is being given to us. The difference with this supermoon is that we're actually going to step forward and want the truth. So this could be a time for many of illumination, and a time where they actually start to put into place plans for the truth that is coming forward for them. If, as I said, governments have been covering things up, hiding information, they're likely to be met with very critical responses. And look out for something that has been hidden. And I'm not just talking about 19 now, I'm talking about other things. Look out for something that has been hidden. And I go to the United States, and I go to the United States president, who's facing a number of investigations. Look out for something that is going to emerge. And I think if you look at I did a reading on Trump in March. I think we are looking for something big to emerge over the next couple of weeks. The Trump government's reaction could also be called into question to 19. Leadership is going to be very critically analysed and judged with this super full moon. So let's get started. I want to look at, for the individual and the collective, what are we manifesting with this super full moon? Super full moon. Very, very... it's not just a full moon. I think it's one of two times that it will be closest to the Earth. There's astrologers are saying get your telescopes out, because it really will be that beautiful, full illuminating light. So I'm going to ask, what are we manifesting with this supermoon? I'm also going to ask what is going to come to light. And then I'm also going to ask, what is the newness that this supermoon will bring forward? So let's have a look. I'm using my Thelema Tarot, which is quite a gentle energy. I felt very drawn to this today because I feel that we need to round off those sharp edges that are impacting on us. This is not an easy time, I don't think, for anyone. We've had Mercury retrograde. We are facing quite serious situation with the spread of 19. But there is also the challenge to keep things in perspective, to stop overreacting, to stop panicking, and to remember your humanity. Remember your humanity. Because this virus is not just with people who are not in the high-risk categories, it's possibly going to just pass, like a cold or a flu might. For people in the high-risk categories, the elderly and those that have pre-existing conditions and immunocompromised, health authorities tell us that these are who at risk. So we need to bear all of that in mind. We need to bear all of that in mind. Okay, so what are we manifesting with this supermoon? What are we manifesting? So I am seeing the High Priestess. So I feel that our fears are going to be confronted, and we're going to try and attempt to gain order out of chaos. We're going to actually see what a dystopian environment looks like. By that I mean our worst fears are that we're facing some sort of Armageddon, that this is a pandemic that's going to wipe everybody out, where we are going to be forced, and it is through seeing, unfortunately, the examples of overreaction and how that impacts on people. It is being forced to see that in its an illogical reaction, and we will be forced to become more objective as a result of that. That's what this supermoon is going to bring forward. What are we manifesting? We are manifesting the ability to cut through the illusions. Okay, what are we manifesting from this supermoon in Virgo? March the 9th. What are we manifesting from the supermoon? Two of Cups, unity. And I did hear one reader, I think it was Mary from Lighthouse, hello Mary, talked about unity coming forward as a result of what is going on globally at the moment. This is what we're manifesting. We're going to be coming together rather than tearing each other apart. The Five of Cups, the challenge is loss. So in adversity, and so the supermoon in Virgo is very important, because we're going to be actually seeing, as I said, we're going to be seeing the results of what happens with disunity, chaos, misinformation, illusions and delusions. That's that Seven of Cups energy. Confronting our worst fears. We're actually all going to see that and see the absolute need of coming together and bringing forward that logic, that objectivity, calming ourselves down. The Two of Pentacles, there is so much worry about the economy and the stock market and trade. That's the foundation of the reading. So it's not just about how something like 19 might impact on our health. It's also the worry around the economic worry, and the supply of goods and services is very much uppermost in our mind. So there's a real need with this supermoon. Is critically important, because there is a real need to check ourselves and stop ourselves from overreacting, to calmly face the problems and the challenges with logic, with objectivity, with compassion, with generosity, rather than fighting that fight in the sky. So I think this supermoon is really going to put a spotlight on any sort of gaslighting that's being attempted. Queen of Pentacles in the past. This is people's focus is on not just at the collective level, but on what they can put on their table, how secure they can make their home, and this has led to the panic buying. I want to give you an example in Sydney. So this reading's not just about 19; it's about bringing forward our reactions to when things go wrong, and the need. Let me just turn off my phone in case it rings. And the need to bring forward this objectivity that Virgo are so good. Virgoans are so good at doing this. They can be the voice of reason in a panic. They can implement this systemic sort of system reactions, so they can start directing things. This is what this supermoon is going to highlight. But this is also understanding why people have panicked, why people are feeling unease, why people are feeling insecure. There are good reasons for that. But feeling that way is not going to solve it. We do have to. What's on the base of our pack is the High Priestess, which is what I'm seeing. I'm associating at this time with what is going on in the world. Our deepest, darkest fears are being raised, and there is a need to confront them. Absolutely confront them. And when we do, what falls out of that? And so this supermoon in Virgo, as I said, is so important. What falls out of that is actually critical thinking. It's actually, okay, we have a problem here, how we're going to solve it. Anyone who's not in that space, there's no room for them. There's no room for them because we have chaos. All right, the Empress is the potential future. The Empress is abundance. In some ways, this super full moon is going to put our thoughts on our what we generate, what we grow, how we give ourselves abundance. And it is going to shift from other people providing that abundance to finding that abundance within ourselves. I thought the other day, wow, I've been wanting to put in my vegetable garden now for a little while. I'll go and get the seeds because I would much rather grow my own vegetables. So this isn't saying I'm worried that there won't be any vegetables in the supermarket. This is saying that I want to provide for myself. I don't want to rely so much on externalities. And of course, governments have been for many decades, I'll get off my soapbox in a minute, have been driving us toward relying on the state for so much. And I go back to my grandparents' time where food was less likely to be bought off the supermarket shelf and more likely to be picked out of their garden. So this was forcing us to confront the truth of things in a way. These sort of things will be going through people's heads, as well as the need for humanity, generosity and compassion, as we see some examples of the worst in human nature. It's going to be hard going also with this supermoon because of the Five of Cups here as the challenge, which is loss. It's also hysteria. There's another aspect to the Five of Cups. It's when you lose something, there is a certain amount of hysteria there. We don't want to lose anything, do we? We don't want to be confronted with loss at all. And so it is the challenge again from this supermoon is not just to see things more objectively, but it is to understand our own reactions and how difficult that actually makes life for us, how it adds to the load we're carrying. So Virgoans are very effective and very efficient. They don't waste much, and I feel the supermoon will bring all these things to the fore. So it is an opportunity. What are we manifesting? It is an opportunity for change. The here and the now, and this is a very important card. The Ace of Swords is all about truth. Now, I did say at the beginning of this reading that the focus will be on truth. If there is any gaslighting, it is not going to go down well. There's going to be a fairly strong reaction to it. So leaders would be wise to focus on transparency, to focus on the truth, and not to muddy the waters, because really when situations are critical, we're going to want the truth. So the Ace of Swords in the here and now, the biggest thing that this super moon will bring forward is illumination of the truth. And this is not just in global situations. This is in your personal situations as well. The Queen of Cups, nurturing, firm, loving energy. This is the environment around the truth. Okay, so when we start to cut through the gaslighting, cut through the panic, cut through the overreaction, we are left with this. And this is the gift of the Virgo supermoon to us. Seeing the truth a little bit more clearly, and bringing forward this nurturing but firm energy. We will be getting revelations. And I think astrologers will probably back me up on that. There is going to be illumination and revelations, which will begin to start as Mercury ends its retrograde motion and moves forward. So I think by the end of March we come out of the shadow of Mercury retrograde and we start to really see the truth of things. So this is what we're manifesting at the individual and the collective level. Look at our hope, the world, endings and beginnings. There's nothing like a challenge. There's nothing like adversity to bring forward change. And the outcome, I guess, in the outcome, what the supermoon's going to produce, we're going to be more with that Two of Cups. We're going to start to work together, not against one another. And so anyone who is bringing forward that divisive energy that isn't cooperative, that isn't that's not inclusive, it will be called out. It will be seen for what it is. Manifesting new starts. We are manifesting new starts. Again, there's nothing like adversity and change to bring forward truth and revelation to really put us on a different path. And the Page of Pentacles, there's something around our money that we will be focused on this week. Now, I'm moving away from panic and overreaction, but also to understanding what control we do have in our lives, that how we have given over control to others in so many ways. So confronting our fear with this High Priestess, but also beginning to think about things in a different way. We do have our Queen of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Queen of Wands. So our focus with this supermoon is going to be on security, stability, and also planning, putting in plans in place. We're almost going to be problem solvers. We're going to move into that mode, and that is what Virgo is so good at, problem solving. A lot of people are going to be thinking about the past with this Six of Cups, going back to the past. Again, getting those wake-up calls and becoming re-inspired, re-motivated. So I feel that what we see in the next week or so is going to really cause us to face the truth of things, and there is going to be revelation and illumination in store for us. Let's have a look at what will come to light. Given that we know there's going to be some sort of truth coming forward for us collectively in the situations, our political situations as well. What's coming forward for us in our personal situations. So we'll have a look at what the super full moon is going to shine a light on what is the core truth that is going to come forward. I'll just put these cards back, and then we'll also go to what's the newness that will come out of this. But what is the truth, that Ace of Wands? Let's drill down a little bit on that. What is the truth that is likely to come forward? Now, I've got the Ten of Cups, so this is our completion card. It's unconditional love. It is humanity. It is supporting one another, and I do have strength and endurance. We might find out just how strong we actually are and how we are able, how much power, in some way taking back our power. So show me what the super moon will shed a light on. Show me what, yeah, it is. It's taking back our power. Even the I guess the smallest of us. Well, it's not the right word. But those without power, even those without power, are going to be wanting to take their power back. Okay, so I'm just seeing a young girl holding the globe in her hands, showing that many hands will determine our future, not just a few. Okay, so show me what the super moon in Virgo will shine a light on. Show me what. I'm getting that Seven of Cups energy, that illusion, delusion, that watery Piscean type of energy. Show me what the super full moon in Virgo will shine a light on. Okay, Six of Swords, the need to move on and the need for healing. The need to not stay in underneath those dark clouds, but to seek a different destination. The Queen of Swords, objectivity. It will shine the light on the need for objectivity and truth. Okay, so in a way we're being tested at this time to bring forward that objectivity, and the need for it will be healing as well. Unity. It will shine a light on the need for unity. Unfortunately, chaos, the Tower moment, forces us to rely on one another. But there's a healing energy in amongst this chaos as well. Queen of Pentacles, focusing on our own security, not giving away our power to others. The truth, the truth itself. The truth can be harsh coming forward, but when I see this Knight of Swords, I see change happening. So what is going to be focused, what is going to be, what will the full moon shine a light on? It will shine a light on disunity and the need for unity. It will shine a light on subjectivity and gaslighting and the need for objectivity and logic and truth. It's going to be a healing full moon. The Seven of Cups, the illusion and delusion that we are actually separate. That's what it's going to shine a light on. And the Tower moment, it will lead to the downfall of anyone who is peddling this untruth, this illusion and delusion. What's at the base of the pack? The Four of Cups. It is going to bring forward disappointment, absolutely, but I'm reminded that there is another cup there that this person is not seeing. So keep your thoughts positive. The Sun, again, in the darkest of circumstances, we can find the wherewithal to act like children. We can find the, we can still go and take a picnic out in the meadow. There are things that we can do to remain happy. Keep your thoughts positive. Join together. Don't, I guess with this chaos we're seeing, the brawling in the supermarkets, the panic buying that doesn't give any thought to those that actually do need, that are in the high risk group, that actually do need these sorts of supplies. We can come together. We don't have to tear each other apart. And the Nine of Cups, that's when miracles start to occur. We know it. We absolutely know it, and that is the hope in this situation for the world. And there is indeed some justice coming forward here, some justice, almost like we're creating our own karma in real time. So we are not powerless, and this supermoon will show us that. There are things that we can do, make plans, put them into place. All right, what will be the newness that will come forward? Let me just give these cards a really good shuffle. Mercury, of course, on the 9th of March will start to go direct. We will be in the shadow of Mercury retrograde for a couple of more weeks, but then we've got truth coming forward toward the end of the month. Queen of Wands wants to appear. Don't lose your passion. Don't lose your motivation. Don't descend into the weeds. Keep your thoughts positive. The Queen of Wands does have a fire energy. It does have that Mars energy, and she drives things forward. Now is not the time to be complacent, apathetic, or to throw your hands up and say, this is all too hard. All right, show me what is the newness. This is feminine energy too, the rising of feminine energy. It's almost like, I don't want to make this reading gender specific, but it's almost with this Queen of Swords, it's almost like there is a certain power that that feminine energy rising brings forward. So focusing on that feminine energy, it's not passive, but nor is it aggressive either. Let's have a look. What is this newness that will be driven forward? A different way, wanting a different way to do things, not wanting to hand over our power to aging male politicians, basically. Taking back our power is all part of this super full moon. And if this applies to you personally, this is about remaining inspired or getting inspired and taking action on your plans. All right, at the individual level, what is the newness that is likely to come forward? All right, Page of Pentacles, money news. I think it's going to reorder a lot in our personal finances, in the way that we do things. People are going to be pulling themselves in. They will be budgeting, but it's almost like what are we spending our money on? What do we really need? That load of sugary, carbohydrate ridden groceries. Can we do things differently? And it is a healing kind of energy that we're a balance, bringing things back into balance. The Seven of Swords, again, lies, deceit, it's just not going to be tolerated. It's almost like we're saying no to that, a very strong no. And we're focusing on abundance and ways to create abundance for ourselves, beyond money. Beyond this, we're looking at other ways to create abundance for ourselves. So I feel a real shift in 2020 occurring. The King of Pentacles. Okay, again, this focus on money. There is a healing, that opportunity here for us, a way of bringing balance back. And this is why at the collective level, anyone who is deceiving us or trying to deceive us, we're going to be manifesting a road out for them, the end of their era. Look at this, the Star card. How beautiful. How absolutely beautiful. And the Empress, of course, underneath that is the 10 of Swords. We've had our downfall. We realise that there are different ways to do things. These big wake-up calls with the Judgment, something coming to an inevitable end. And our other pair with Judgment, Justice, both karmic cards. This is a karmic time for us. Control, who we have given control to, and of course who's supporting that kind of agenda. We're seeing the loss here very clearly we are seeing the abuse of power with this Five of Swords, and we've got Six of Wands. We're going to be stepping up. So really, what is the newness that we are stepping up to? We're going to take back our power. We're going to end things that are no longer serving us. And we're going to move forward with clarity, objectivity, with a focus on the truth. So, you know, as I said, unfortunately, adversity, one way or another, forces us into much needed change. And so the supermoon is going to bring forth some of these revelations to some of us. So thank you for tuning into this full moon reading. I thought we needed it today rather than a straight political reading. I felt it was time to bring forward smooth off those sharp, jagged edges for us a bit, and bring things back into perspective, because really that is what this full moon is going to be. We're going to be getting a new perspective on things with a focus on the truth. Watch out for those illuminations at the individual and the collective level that will be coming forward in the next couple of weeks, and the truth that will be emerging. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in.